What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Oregon Ducks postgame show right here on the Oregon Ducks channel of the Voice of College Football. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I think most people did. Some people had to do different things, but hopefully you got to enjoy yourself yesterday as well as today and tonight, especially. And right now we have our guy Spaz, who is focusing on one game at a time as commanded by me. How are you doing tonight, Spaz?
I'm doing fantastic. What a week. What a season so far, man. Definitely I don't think this was what any of us really expected. We hoped, but I don't think any of us saw anybody possibly going undefeated, much less two teams, one loss between them. We thought there would be some more cannibalism, and it's happened on the bottom part, but not at the top. Gotta love being at the top.
Well, that's true, because we know in history always has said the pack will beat itself up. No one's going to go unbeaten or unscathed at this moment in time unless chaos happens. Tomorrow, Washington will have completed the regular season throughout the pack undefeated, which will be the first time since who and when?
Oof. I don't remember the last time we had a Pac-12 undefeated. Was it Oregon?
Oregon in 2010.
Oh,
that was the last time Pac. That was the Pac-10, but it was still 9 conference games, so went through the whole Pac schedule.
Undefeated. Right.
So it will be the first time in basically 13 years.
It's
quite a feat.
Game?
Was that
the Cam game?
Yes, that was when we played Cam Newton for the title. But it's been a long time since anyone's actually gone through the Pac schedule undefeated.
Yeah.
Let alone completely undefeated regular season. And so tonight was that final, so to say, hurdle of getting over little brother, who is always a pain in our sides and a pain in our ass. But before we get into that, you and I agreed. Is this Jonathan Smith's last game as the Oregon State head coach?
It very well could be from everything that kind of came out this morning, and I was just on a Spaces on X just a little while ago, and there's 3 of them up going right now, and rumor is that Michigan State is setting up for a press conference for Monday morning, and all indications are it's going to be Jonathan Smith hiring at Michigan State, but no official word as of yet.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, to be honest, that's why for Michigan State, we always, I think earlier in the year, we said, you need to go after like someone like Mike Elko. He just seems to fit that formula that Michigan State wants. Jonathan Smith is that type. And I know, and I'm not trying to predict this for, Beaver fans, because that'd be just like the ultimate kick to them this season, is to lose Jonathan Smith, who is an alum, former quarterback for Oregon State. But he's a hot name. I mean, that's what happens no matter who you are. The only thing that keeps him there, I think, is that he's an alum and a former player, where he can do no wrong to a degree. Kind of like Mike Riley. He could be there for 15, 20 years. As long as he's winning relatively consistently, he could stay there for as long as he wants.
Yeah. And for what he's done in such a short time in turning them around, back-to-back possible 10-win seasons. That's pretty impressive from where they were when he took over the program 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Well, and even tonight, before this game, they had lost 3 games by a combined, I believe they said it, 8 points. 3 losses this season by 8 points. That's
going into tonight. Yeah,
that's like so close to being maybe 11-1. So it's like that's tough. I mean, that was us last year. The 2 losses we had last year were total of what, 7 points in 2 losses. So to have 3 by a total of 8 before tonight, that's tough.
Yeah, it's very tough.
So this is not making fun of the Beavers. We love our little brother. That's just, it would be a final kick to the Beavers in a bad way. And hopefully not. I mean, I hope not. But I mean, I guess at the same time, you can't blame them with the uncertainty of everything.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much as good as gone. It would make sense in several ways. I mean, sure, you would love to stay at your alma mater and keep building what you've got. But when you got a program that right now is an influx, they don't know where they're playing, if they're even going to be in a conference next year, all that, it's going to kill your recruiting, everything. And when you're at the stature of a Jonathan Smith right now, you want to build your resume. You want to keep building your resume. And there's no better really step than it's Michigan State, Texas A&M. Something like that is a big step for a guy like him. And if he could go into East Lansing and turn that program around in 5 years, now you're going from a $5 million a year contract to a $10 million a year contract. And he's young enough, he can still do that.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, obviously the Beavers' regular season is over, so I have a feeling we're gonna know something within, I'd say, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
since the regular season is over. Like at this point, the other school will strike if they're going to.
Yep.
They don't have to wait any longer. They can actually offer it, put it on the table for him. But I wondered if that might be some distraction because of the rumors going around.
I think it very much well could have played into it.
But I don't think too heavily though. I don't think too heavily, but
not too heavily, but they just didn't look, they looked defeated. Like that Washington game just kind of,
oh yeah.
It took the wind out of their sails. The opening hit off that tackle, I was like, "Ooh, they're coming to play," and then it was over.
It would deflate a lot of teams, not just the Beavers. That type of loss, and then having to go against your in-state rival, it would deflate a lot of teams. So Jonathan Smith, yeah, we'll see in about 4 or 5 days, probably at most, one way or the other, or we'll start hearing some hiring news, definitely for MSU, especially A&M. That'll be interesting, what they want to do. But one thing that some news that came out today, apparently, and it's news, it's kind of information, but it's something interesting. As we were talking about, will the rivalry continue? Was this the last foreseeable civil war, or will it continue? And there was some news today, apparently, that came out this morning, and we weren't sure if we were going to hear about it before the game. And so this is from John Casano, but he apparently has some sources that were saying they were also talking to Lad McKittrick. the starting quarterback for Oregon State the day of the toilet bowl. That was a good little section in that article. Today, this year was the 40th anniversary of the toilet bowl too, by the way.
Yeah.
The 0-0 game, by the way.
Yep.
Just to remind everyone of that one. But besides, as we have stated, the Boise State probably is going to be the one they're trying to bounce or buy out of or swap. But apparently Texas Tech is also maybe willing to help out at least next year and reschedule their home game against us to open a slot.
Yeah.
To allow it to continue, which is really interesting that Texas Tech might say, you know what, to keep that going, we'll swap your game with another one so you can open up a window.
There's talk of them switching it to Washington State.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. He's like, yeah, instead play Washington State and Pullman instead of going to Eugene, and then just go to Eugene like the next year or something like that. At least buy 1 year to let it continue or something like that as a simple swap over or something like that. I'm like, that's interesting.
Now, Elizabeth over here on our YouTube, I've gotten to meet her over the last couple of days on X, Twitter. She goes by Baby Duck on Twitter, and she was at the game tonight. So, and she came on here. She's new to our channel, and I figured maybe get some insight from her later on.
Yeah.
Her experience of the last Civil War.
Yeah, it definitely. Well, the last, again, at this moment.
At this moment, yeah.
At this moment.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future, not permanently, but foreseeable future. We have to always say that. Otherwise, someone's going to be in the comment later on or after the video going, you don't know that. Like, oh. YouTube warriors.
Yeah.
Let's get into that shit, though. The score might not be exactly what I think we thought it would be, but at the end of the day, it was still a beatdown. Oregon said, you like to run the ball and take up time? Ha! We can do that too.
9.5 minutes. The longest drive of the year to start the game. That was a masterpiece. And I think that just broke Oregon State instantly out of the gate, basically. Because we did what everybody, and even Brock Heward and the other announcer were saying, you know, Oregon is coming out doing exactly what Oregon State was supposed to try to do to Oregon. And so they used their own game plan against them, basically, and backfired it.
And yeah, I have it written down as like 8.5 minutes, but 8.5 to 9 minutes. It was something like 8:40, 8:35, 8:40 minutes. I mean, it was an impressive drive. There were 3 drives in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Oregon, then Oregon State, then Oregon got the ball back, and the quarter ended. I was like, holy crap.
And 8 hours of commercials in between. My goodness.
Yeah. That too. I mean, and really that first drive might not have gone that long. We had Bucky getting called down on that attempt to tackle like the second or third play. And instead of letting it go, they called him down, which I see why, because it looks like probably your elbow went down or whatever, but he wasn't down. But that was the end of that play. He might have gone for at least 20, 30 yards before someone caught up and tackled him.
Yeah, that was the one shot that he probably could have possibly taken it to the house.
And then the Beavs did respond nicely with a nice little drive. They did respond nicely, but then went for it and got a stop, the fourth down stop by our defense to hold them to nothing.
Well, you got a 14-7 game with a minute to go in the half, and you're thinking, okay, Oregon State's going to get the ball to start the second half, and we're
this is
going
the
to
first
have,
quarter. This is the first quarter.
huh?
Like, this is just the first quarter.
Well, yeah. I guess I was jumping ahead a little bit, I guess.
That's what I focus. I'm changing your name back to Focus. Focus. That's it. Because I mean, they got the fourth down stop. Then Oregon took back over. And today we saw something we haven't seen, and that's where I wanted to bring that up. Is today we saw them doing design Knicks run plays or read options. More than we've seen all this year together. Almost combined in this game.
Yeah. He was actually running the ball and a couple of different times, and again, something to throw off the defenses. Bo hasn't been running this year much, but in this game, there was a couple of key spots where he ran the ball and it made the difference.
And then I do have a because at that point it was 14-0 after Nick's 16-yard touchdown run. Then I have a note: missed 34-yard field goal and another great drive, and a literally frowny face next to Lewis's name. I have a frowny face on my sheet here.
Cam to Lewis.
It's like I have a frowny face.
This kid, it's all about confidence, and obviously that Washington game has rattled Camden this year.
It seems to be because
the same kicker.
Yeah, it seems to be. Ever since then, he has not been the same for whatever reason, and I have to assume his confidence. For some reason, he just had not gotten it back at all. But then the Beavers scored a touchdown, and that made it 14-7 Oregon. And then I think if I recall correctly off the top of my head, Oregon had, was it 45 seconds to 45 or 50 seconds left in the first half. Went down 80 yards, and then off Nix's just throwing back across his body to Franklin to break a tackle and run into the end zone for the touchdown, make it 21-7 half, was just
35 yards across the field.
Yeah, just that's the Heisman shit right there. That is the Heisman. Those are those plays where you're like, you don't have to throw a touchdown every time, like into the end zone. Just you have to do something like that. Get it to your guy who can make a play. And that's what
and that's what the announcers said too. There's this Heisman moment was that throwback to Franklin, and then the read option that he took around the edge and scored on was just masterful.
Yeah, that was pretty deflating for the Beavers. I mean, they were going to get the ball back. They thought, okay, we're going to go into half 14-7.
Yep.
And then they went in 21-7, down 21-7. And I was like, ugh. And then the Beavers came out in the third quarter, had a nice drive going, had a very nice drive going in the beginning of the third, only to get stopped on fourth down again by the Ducks.
Yeah.
And again, just deflating for them.
The defense, what can we say about this defense this year has just been something special that I don't think any of us saw. And they did point it out. The announcers did point out that there are two schools in the FBS that are top 10 in offense and defense, and that is Georgia and Oregon.
Trying to think if it was I don't think it's offense and defense. I think it's more scoring offense, scoring defense. I think that was what it was: scoring offense, scoring defense. But
yeah, but still, yeah. I mean,
still good, really good to see. You can give up some yards, but you're not giving up points. That's a huge thing. Because I mean, we still gave up. I mean, 273 yards these days is nothing. I think our average at this point had been 310. I think they show on the screen, which was still number one in the Pac-12. And now we give only 273 yards tonight.
Yeah, what did we give up? 40-some yards on the ground?
53 total. Yeah, 53 total.
To a team that had been averaging 100
almost
plus.
I think almost 200.
Yeah.
And we were only giving up 96, 97 average. So we cut that down by over 40 yards tonight. Now, they did get some passing plays. I will give DJU some credit. He had some amazing tight window throws on those play actions. Like those long developing crossing routes. He put the ball in some very tight coverage windows. And his receivers came down with him. I was like, ooh. I mean, you can't do much better than that. I mean, so I'll give him credit. He hit some great throws.
DJ played a good game. The problem was we were able to make them one-dimensional. And unfortunately, DJU just doesn't have the receiving core and the offense to be one-dimensional in the passing game. And when we shut their run game, it just makes that much harder for them. But he balled. He gave it a hell of an effort. I think he threw for close to 200 yards.
220.
220. Okay.
I mean, and that's fine. Yeah, that's it. That's not the Beaver ball, as they like to say. That's not how the Beavers want to play.
No,
the Beavers want to play 200 rushing, 200 passing. It has to be balanced. That's why the play actions work. And even Oregon tonight, I mean, credit to the Beavers, Oregon did not run the ball extremely well tonight. We only ran for 113 yards.
No, Oregon State's front seven is very good, and as they found out, their secondary just could not keep up with our receivers. They were getting, I mean, there was a couple of plays where they ran straight corner blitzes and Bo was about ready to get smoked and he just tosses it. The throw to Franklin, I think in the third quarter, where he threw the ball to the spot and Franklin hadn't even made his cut towards the ball yet. As they were coming on a corner blitz. And Bo threw it, and Franklin ran right into it. I mean, it was just brilliant.
Yeah, that was I think I mean I can't remember immediately off the top of my head I'd have to go back and watch the game again if Bo made an adjustment at the line, probably like he always does. He probably had Franklin put on a hot route, like out, expecting pressure, and just threw it there as he's supposed to on a timing route. But yeah, there were multiple times where I was like, and he's sacked. Oh, nope, never mind. Like he somehow rolled out or stepped up just enough to avoid it or got rid of it first. And I was like, and actually Raymond, thinking of that. And besides the Beavers had another good drive where Manning intercepted it in the end zone. Very nice play by Manning.
Great interception by Manning. And he played well tonight. He played well.
He had a couple
PIs, but that's going to happen when you're playing on the number ones.
Yeah. And Raymond, I want to say that actually he was credited half a sack. I do want to say he was credited half a sack, I think.
I think he should have.
Solo. Oh, no, he got a sack. He was credited with that sack.
He was credited with that one. Okay.
I was like, I couldn't remember if they gave it to Dorless, Birch, or him. One of them, but he pushed the tackle, I think, back into DJ, and they credited him with the sack for it. So technically, he did sack his older brother. Wasn't the hard hit that we were hoping for, or full on man tackle, but
No.
it counted.
Oh, look, we got a Miami troll.
Yeah. Miami fans are always trolling everyone else.
They got nothing better to do.
But yeah, so yeah, they did give him a sack. So that was something I had to actually think about too, because I kind of forgot about that play, and I was like, oh, okay, they did give it to him. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, the game went. It was a little weird. I thought we would run up the score more. I know a couple people said here, how did we only score 31 points? Understandable, because it felt like the Ducks just came out with a whole different game plan than normal.
Yeah, it was just it was the start was different. That long drive, the defense, like Sean and I were talking. Now let's see if the defense shows up and wants to play, and they came out, stopped them, got the ball back, and just it was methodical play calling and movement pretty much the whole game. I will say that we are going to have to play a little bit better on offense in the second half. I think going forward, we're not going to be able to just let off the gas per se. We're going to have to continue to keep the gas flowing.
And I think we could have. I think we really could have that last, especially fourth down. It was like 4th and 3. And you could see the whole offense going, let's go for it. And Laning's like, nah, we'll just punt it. The one time he's like, let's punt it. And everyone's like, go for it. Go for it. And he's like, nah, we're going to punt. I'm like, damn it, Lanning. I need another touchdown for my score predictions. But we'll get into score predictions on Tuesday. But yeah,
season low for you too, Clint. So
yeah, I was about to say, I was like, all right, Beaver, little brother. Yeah, I hear with that. I gotta get rid of that. I keep getting ads playing on that screen in the background, no matter if I turn them off or not. They're still playing on my headphones, and it's really annoying. Really annoying. Yeah, and that's the thing. Oregon came out tonight. Was like, you want the ball? Nah. We're holding on to this thing, which was weird. Yeah, it was. I one or two drives fine, but then they had that quick strike, and then. But credit to the Beavers defense too. Credit to them. They came out to play, But by the end of the game, yeah, they were just burnt out. They were burnt out by the end of it.
What do we have for total offense? Oh, I know it was over 4.
It was 480, I believe. Let me pull it back up here. I had to pull it off the main screen because again, I was literally getting ads in the background. Even though I kept shutting them off, they just kept restarting. It was really annoying. Oops. That was not what I wanted. There we go. We had total yardage of they had 2. There we go. We had total of 480 yards. They had 273.
Yeah, that's a domination. Both threw 82% again today.
He was 33 of 40, 367 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then 1 rushing. So if I had to guess, that's definitely in the high 70s.
Yeah.
I can look right here. He had, it's not showing me percentage, but I'm going to guess that it's definitely high 70s at least to continue on with his strive to be the most accurate in FBS history.
Yeah, 33 of 40 is up there.
Pretty damn good. And a couple of those were drops and a couple throwaways. He only had one bad throw. And even that throw where he threw it between two defenders that Franklin dropped, Franklin had it in his arms. And the defender just knocked it out. Good play by the defender. A little risky throw, but Franklin still had the opportunity to catch that thing. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have thrown that either, but he did. Get out of here, you Miami troll. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Much respect. Punch the beaver. Yes, agree. Punch the beaver. The poor beavers.
Thanks, traveling fool. What are you guys going to? The Peanut Butter Bowl?
I'm getting off ESPN. I keep getting ad playing in my headphones. It's so annoying. I turn them off and they keep playing. I wonder, I don't know how that would work. I know we can do drop, like we can do the punts, pooch kicks, like for punts. Can you do that for a field goal?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that would technically just be a punt. Maybe we could just line up Nix and see if he can make field goals.
Right? Well, I know we've got another. I know we have another kicker because they were talking about it.
Well, we do, but Lewis keeps beating him out. But in game, he just keeps. I don't know. His confidence is just gone.
Andrew Boyle.
Yeah, we have
Meters is the Medors. He's the he kicked 4 extra points in the Portland State game. He's the true freshman that supposedly has a leg.
Okay. I mean, you kind of hate to kick Lewis out of the starting spot at this point in the season, but I mean, damn, if he keeps missing something simple, because early in the season, it was like, wow, it's so good to have a guy that can kick 45 yards and not be nervous about it. And drop kicks are 2 points in the NFL. They have them. College, I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen a college quarterback or player drop kick for a field goal. I don't that I can think of. I'd have to look into that. Be interesting. Just add that to his potential Heisman numbers. Be like, well, he kicked a couple of drop kick field goals. 33 of 40, 82.5%. There we go.
Yeah, Tony, the backup kicker was hurt, but last week or the week before he came back to practice. And I think it's Andrew Boyle is the backup kicker.
I think you're right. When you said Broyle, I was like, oh, it is Broyle, isn't it? I think you're right on that. Yeah, I don't that Washington kick broke him. I don't know. We've said that multiple times since the Washington game.
Look at Iowa and Nebraska. I mean, game on the line. Iowa brings in a kicker that hadn't kicked all year.
I know. I think he kicked one the week before, one or something like that. Maybe this is like his second time this season. He hadn't at all.
No, he hadn't at all. And they were shocked that they were bringing him in to kick the game-winning field goal.
Well, damn, I was texting you guys a little bit briefly. I was like, yeah, look at the UTSA Tulane game. They were kicking like 45, 46 yarders, no problem. I'm like, damn it. Why?
Right?
Why? Does Broyle have maybe is Boyle maybe broil, whatever. Maybe maybe he's dinged up. Maybe that's part of the issue.
Because I
Hey,
saw
Lewis didn't kick it out of bounds today on a kickoff, so we'll
No,
give him
he
some
did
credit
not.
there. We'll give him credit there. Speaking of not doing that, so no penalties. I missed a penalty somewhere because they kept saying we had one more than I counted, and I missed one somewhere. False start. Okay, one false start happens. We had a holding call. Okay, that happens. The on-purpose delay of game. That was on purpose for the punt. Fine. The pass interference, one of the pass interference calls, could have gone either way, 50-50, one of those. The personal foul on Manning, though, for throwing the Beaver player down, I think was crap.
Yeah, because I thought it was more of a side versus a back.
Yeah, it was. He just kind of threw him a little bit.
Turned him.
Yeah, I think that one was kind of crap. So I'm leaving that as one of those meh, whatever. Like penalties, it happens. It's an unfortunate one, but I'm not going to blame Manning for that. And then there was another one that I missed, and I don't know what it was. So total, we had 6 penalties for like 50 yards. I'm like, that's still better than we've been doing. So
he did kick one out.
What? Where? Did I miss a kickoff or something?
I must have.
I must have walked out of the damn room. I need to go back and watch this game again. This is why I try to go back and watch the games. Well, if he did, I don't know if it's Lewis because it's been all season long that I think that there's something with the special teams coaching or something because it's been all season long then. I must have walked out of the room for literally a minute and missed it. Third quarter. Okay. I'm going to have to go back and watch that because I literally must have just walked out of the room and just missed that one. Because I was like, oh, good. At least there's one positive. Never mind. Double frowning faces for Lewis on my notes. Double frowning faces.
Oh, I guess you can drop kick.
Huh. I wonder when someone last tried to do that at at least the Power 5 level, especially. Interesting.
Yeah, good luck. I couldn't tell you.
The refs trying to be like, does that
it was
count?
the second half kickoff. Yeah.
See, I literally must have been out of the room and came back in because they started quicker than I thought they would, and I must have just missed it. And then they never said anything about it, really.
Yeah, because I think I came in right as the Beavers were coming up to the ball. So I think I did miss the second half kickoff.
Yeah. I was like, I missed it. So, I mean,
Since
I was going to watch.
Flutie.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't even know when that's happened in the college ranks in quite a damn long time. So I could imagine again the referees going, is that illegal? I guess our Beaver brother ran away.
Yeah, Clint couldn't handle us.
But this was, regardless of the score, it wasn't as high. I thought we'd put up more points. I thought Oregon State would put up some more too. So I was very impressed with the defense. Full credit
on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, Beavers had about, I'd say, 3 good drives, but only 7 points to show for it. So for any defense, that's a good day. That's a good day.
Yes, we did. Thanks, David. Yeah. Now it's time for revenge part 2.
Yes, I was going to allow you to move on because Spaz has been itching. And I made sure he focused. But it is that time in 1 week for Revenge Part 2. From last year, this year, and hopefully a fantastic cap to the season before the bowl season, anyways.
Yes.
And it was fun. It was funny. The announcers were even like, I wonder, because Washington's playing tomorrow, are they watching this game right now going, Christ? I doubt that they were. There were probably some players watching the game, but not for any particular reason, not thinking, we have to play Oregon next week, or something like that. But, I'm sure they were watching it, but it was funny how the announcers put that.
Yeah. We know that game's set in stone now. Will that affect Washington this week in their rivalry game? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
But again, it's rivalry. You just never know. Look at most of the rivalry games so far this week. 13-10, 17-7. The only two rivalry games that were kind of blowouts were our 31-7 and our little Horn brothers in Texas beat up the Techies. I think the final was 55-7.
Something.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of there. I stopped watching.
Make you a little bit nervous. But I think our 31-7 will hold base enough to keep Little Horn down there still. I think they're going to be the ones left crying in the end.
Because I don't think the game tonight will affect Washington tomorrow against Wazoo. Wazoo will put up a fight. They're going to put up numbers. But I don't think that'll affect Washington in the sense of how they play that game,
No, I mean, it's a rivalry game. Mentally, to begin, I could see them maybe having a slow start because, they're like, they already know they're going to Vegas, yada, yada, yada. It's just little brother Cougar, and then in the end, they turn and just run away with it. But I can see a struggle in the first half. I can see them kind of laxy, we got this.
Oh, yeah. No. The first quarter, first half, that would not be a shocker. I mean, that's almost expected in a lot of these rivalry games. That's almost expected. But Washington State's defense is not that good. I mean, unless they want to be at times, randomly. But I think Washington's too much for Washington State to handle.
But we have first-handedly, even though we lost, we saw the recipe for beating Washington, and that's putting yardage and points on their defense. And if Cam Ward gets hot, anything's possible.
Oh, and this is a good point. Washington State is playing for a bowl berth, while Washington is already locked for the title, no matter what happens. But they have playoff aspirations too. If Washington was locked for the Pac-12 title and was a 2-loss team and already out of it, they may kind of like, meh, whatever. But because they're undefeated and locked potentially for the CFP, I think that's going to keep Washington focused 100%. But Washington State will probably put up a good fight. I mean, I'm not saying Washington State's just going to lay down and die tomorrow, but
yeah.
But I almost have to wonder. I'd love to ask some. Maybe this week we'll try to get one of our resident Voice of College Football Washington fans, Sergeant Pickles, to come on and talk. And I wonder the question would be now that because Oregon is locked for the title game in the rematch with Washington in Vegas, would Washington prefer to take on Oregon again or have had to play Arizona?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I wonder for any Husky fan, definitely in the video later if you're watching this and you see this in the comments after this video, let us know. I'll try. Well, hopefully we can ask Sergeant Pickles maybe on Tuesday if we can get him on, because Arizona's scary, and there's no way in hell I don't think Arizona State's beating Arizona tomorrow. Which means Arizona will finish the season 9-3, which is crazy.
Yeah. None of us I don't. Did any of us have Arizona winning, getting into a bowl game?
I'm trying
I
to think
think
of
I only picked them 4 or 5 wins.
Does the chat remember what Arizona's over under was for wins at the beginning of the season? Was it like 4?
I think it was 4.
I put them over. I think I thought 5. And I mean, 1 2-point conversion away potentially from being 10 if they win tomorrow with the USC. Potentially beating USC even. So they were like 1 to 2 plays away from 4.5. Okay. I was like, it was 4 or 4. It was somewhere around 4. I was like, I put them over because I thought, yeah, they're going to pull out 1 or 2 wins. So, yeah, but 9 wins? Damn. No one would have said that.
No.
I would have given them 7, probably. But 9, maybe even 10. Almost 10 with that USC one.
Well, they could end up 10 if they
with a bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
With a bowl win, yeah. I wonder if that affects them knowing that they're not going to have a shot at the title tomorrow. I don't think so. Jeb Fish seems to have them locked in.
Yeah. They're not gonna lose against Arizona State. I would be shocked. Because they have the potential now, I think, to possibly they win tomorrow. Yeah, that they might have a possibility of sneaking into a New Year's 12 bowl. They might be able to steal Oregon State's spot.
Well, yeah, they're going to be above Oregon State as long as they win tomorrow. They'll be above Oregon State.
Yeah, so
as far as I'm aware, they would automatically because you have. Let's see here, because Oregon State obviously is 5-4 in the conference, and Arizona is going to be with a win tomorrow
7-2.
In the conference, they. Oh, okay. That's why. Never mind. Yes, if they win tomorrow, overall they would be 7-2 in the conference, and they beat Oregon State.
Right.
So they. But because Oregon and Washington, unless we both go to the CFP, there wouldn't be that spot. But they would definitely go to like the Holiday Bowl at least, or something like that. They would go to one of the next top tier ones available, regardless.
Yeah, I think avoiding Arizona this year definitely. I'm grateful for the way they've been playing. Whoa, what?
Going through comments. What? What about that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if A&M is going to try to talk to Jed Fish. A&M is going to talk to anyone and everyone they can. I don't think Jed Fish is a big enough name or fancy, glamorous enough name for the likes of Texas A&M. You know, A&M has one of those booster issues where like it has to be flashy.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting hire.
You got to call him. I mean, he's taken a program and built it the way he wanted to build it. And you have to call him. I mean, at least.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if it's a flashy enough name. Well, it's kind of the problem. It's kind of the problem with a lot of teams. If it's not a flashy enough name, you know,
it's too close to Fisher. They might be afraid.
Yeah, that too. that too, Tony. That too.
But I don't know. I could see Mike Elko going to A&M.
I think Elko is definitely in the highest running because of the fact he has connections. And I don't think I could take this type of cult, that type of cult following. Dabo cult plus A&M cult equals cult overload. I don't think college football could take it.
No.
I just don't think I could take it.
I don't think I could take Kiffin to A&M neither.
I don't think so. He's waiting for Bama at best, and yeah, Elko is definitely a front runner, and he's probably cheap.
I heard he wants $10 million.
Elko?
Yeah, I heard he came out. That's what they were talking about on the game during the game. But I don't remember if it was I think it was the halftime show with Chris Peterson and Papadopoulos. They were talking that Elko came out and said something about 10 million is what he wanted.
Yeah, Tony, that's Elko. That's Mike Elko, the Duke head coach now. That's Mike Elko. Duke's
not leaving Texas.
Duke is only paying him like what, $2 million a year, probably.
Yeah,
so $10 million. That's a hell of a jump. A&M could probably get him for $5 million. Could Smith go to UCLA? Well, as far as I'm aware, Chip is safe. Chip Kelly ain't going nowhere, so I doubt that.
Oh Jesus! Somebody fucking saw my. You obviously weren't here on Tuesday then.
What? Did I just miss a comment somewhere?
Yeah, Jason. He must not have seen Tuesday's show.
No. Good God, no. Yeah, no. We were all full in agreement. No, Chip will not be Chip would not be an OC for anyone else unless it was at like the NFL level. I don't think, and even then, I don't think he'd be an OC for anyone. And I would not want to. We've all of us were in agreement. We do not want to recycle Chip Kelly in any way. I think if Chip Kelly had come back after Helfrich, we might have said okay. But after all that, it was like nah. It's been too long, especially with the recruiting going up. Exactly, yeah. Because Chip doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Chip can't recruit. How he got Dante Moore to turn, I have no clue.
Big Ten NIL, that was it. Because Oregon wasn't going at that point.
Right, because Dante's from Michigan, yeah.
So that was like literally the only reason why he jumped.
Right. He knew he'd have more of a shot to play closer to family and friends and things and home.
Well, and he wanted to start, I think, and we had Nick's.
Yeah.
As soon as Nick, I think that's when he jumped. Nick said he was coming back, and Dante was like, okay, well, I'll go to UCLA. I think that was...
Yeah, Jason said that too. Dante wanted to play.
But yeah, and that's it. Fucking Stein. Can we give that man some love?
Yeah, dude, he's the finals for the Broyles Award. That's
That
huge.
man has
First year.
We said it, and we'll have to talk about it after the championship game, of course, more. But that was our number one O-line. How will the defense improve, and what will Will Stein look like as an OC? O-line, check. Will Stein, check. Defense, check.
Check. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that he doesn't get
having a Heisman year. Check.
I mean, and that's even more surprising. Just the way it's even progressed. But Stein will get in some pickles offensively, but Stein will get us out of them. He will come up with a couple plays, and it's like, Jesus.
And who was the one panelist at the beginning of the year that said, if this team can do anything, and Bo Nix has any bit better year than he did last year, he could win the Heisman, and we could be in the CFP.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that video to confirm that. Right now, he's just making bullshit. Right now, he's just spewing bullshit.
No, this guy reported it at the very beginning of the year.
Reported it.
I said, Bo could win the Heisman. We could play in the CFP if everything went right. And we're one step away from both. One game.
Yep.
If Bo has a good game next week, and it doesn't even have to be a super game. If he has a game like he did today, 2-3 scores, 350 yards, 80% completion, just
no turnovers, and we win.
No turnovers, just hand it to him. It's over.
Yeah, and I get what Jason is saying here too. Is I think it's Jaden Daniels to lose. He has 3 losses right now. He's in 3rd place by all the ranking systems, and I get his yardage. The difference is, like last week, they were playing whoever the hell LSU was playing, and they had him in late in the 4th quarter just to run and throw touchdowns for yards, and Nick still had as many touchdowns and yards passing almost in a half.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. I think Bo put himself there now. I now think it's Bo's to lose. If he has a solid game next week, it's his.
Yeah. I said this about 3-4 weeks ago. I said, how much does this feel like the 2014 season? Come into the season decently ranked, then we take a hard loss like we did in 2014 to Arizona. Then we just go through the schedule. We get a rematch, beat the hell out of Arizona, and Mariota locks up the Heisman 100%. Like, no questions asked.
Yeah.
This season feels like that sort of trajectory.
Absolutely 100%.
Now, as for the CFP, this year's a little more convoluted because there's more teams kind of stagnated at the top. But
I think the key is, for me, Ohio State has to beat Michigan. If Ohio State beats Michigan and then Georgia beats Alabama, I think we're in, and we beat Washington, I think we're in.
Well, we definitely need Alabama to lose twice.
And beats Ohio State, then I think that kind of puts a little bit of a crinkle in it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because obviously we have a couple games coming up. Obviously tomorrow, and it was hard. I had to keep reminding myself today. I'm like, oh, it's Friday because there was football.
Yeah,
I had to keep reminding myself it's Friday because tomorrow is a whole nother day of football. I'm like, oh yeah. So tomorrow will tell us a lot of what happens because you never know. The dumbest things can happen. Alabama could lose to Auburn, for shit's sake. And then it doesn't matter if they beat Georgia or not because they already have 2 losses. So they're most likely ejected. FSU could lose to Florida tomorrow. Tomorrow could correct and align everything in the realm of the CFP outlook, as long as Oregon takes care of what they need to.
Yeah, I think if, what happens if Georgia Tech beats Georgia?
I'm sorry. That's the one game I'm like, that is not happening.
It's at Georgia Tech, and it's a rivalry game.
Well, I know, but
And
Georgia Tech is not.
They already pull up an upset this year once already.
Georgia Tech is not the Georgia Tech that used to be when it would upset some teams. I know they have upset, quote unquote, upset some teams, but this is not the Georgia Tech of years ago.
No.
Yeah. See, exactly.
Hey, I'm just saying, you never know.
But tomorrow will start to streamline a little bit because tomorrow 1 to 2 people could be eliminated ahead of us, and that could help streamline all literally have to. I mean, still, no matter what, all we have to do is just win and just let the rest fall into place. That's all we can do.
If Florida wins tomorrow, if Florida beats Florida State tomorrow, then it's all hands on deck.
There's a spot open immediately because there's no guarantee that Florida State's going to beat Louisville.
No, I keep forgetting that too. Yeah, they got to play Louisville still and Florida. Yeah. So they have 2 more games with a backup freshman.
So that's it. I mean, everything's still online. All Oregon has to do is worry about is win. Just win next week against Washington. That's all we have to worry about. The only thing that should be in their minds is just win.
Yeah.
Because if they're worried about anything else, and I think that's the one thing I love the most about Lanning, and how many times have I said it this season? No matter what happens, if we win the Pac-12, just imagine the video from Go Ducks of Lanning pregame, mid-game speeches, chopped up with highlights for each game. Oh, it's going to be fucking spectacular.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man, it's a highlight reel.
The one they did the other day was great. The conditioning. Did you see that one with the conditioning crew against the trainers or whatever?
Which game was that for?
It was just the other day that the Go Ducks crew put out.
Did I maybe I missed one?
It was a promo video, and it was the like the athletic department against the trainers or strength and conditioning coaches or whatnot.
I missed one.
Dude, it was great. It was hilarious.
I missed one
because they threw in Bo and Bucky highlights and whatnot, and it was the strength and conditioning guys in the athletic department, and it was great. It was inside the Michovsky Center. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna have to go look for that because I had commentary here about broadcast. I have like a separate line for broadcast. And one, I love that they did the Oregon Trail animation. With Bo Nix. But then they had, during the game, they referenced that they're like, oh, I can't wait for the Ducks versus them highlight video this week. They made a specific comment for that. And I was like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, the Go Ducks department has been doing a fantastic media job this year.
Yeah.
They've been working their ass off on those videos.
So wait a minute. Are you seeing this overloadings deal? So if Oregon gets in this year, who were the 4 teams, Cucks? Was it Oregon, Georgia, and
No,
Michigan?
no. The original was Alabama, Oregon, FSU, Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
In that order.
Yeah, that would be tricky.
Yeah.
That would be good though. That is true. We get an extra day.
Kind of. I mean, kind of. We get an extra day of, I'd say more so rest. And that's an important thing because Bryant Jr. got that hard tackle on him. And
Ryan's
they
done.
they said he was on crutches. And then you guys said it was a broken leg, apparently. So we lost a receiver. Luckily, with Bryant, I think you can kind of swap him with Holden.
Thank you, Elizabeth, Baby Duck, for coming. Appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tune into the shows on Tuesdays. And next Friday, we'll be here again, probably about the same time.
Probably. Most likely after the championship game. So Bryant Jr. is out. I think Holden can kind of slide into his spot.
Yeah, Bright Jr. didn't have a lot of catches this year anyways. He wasn't a real focal point, but he was another body. And like you said, I think Holden can just move right in there. I think they both had about the same amount of catches.
Yeah, because even after he went out, Holden caught like 3 passes after that.
Yeah.
So I think Holden can catch in there. And then, of course, after that, Tysheem Johnson, he went off, but he wasn't like, didn't look super. He kind of looked more dinged up than anything, but I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, he ran out on his own power, so he was fine.
And then he didn't come back. So I guess we'll hear more about that once we see when I look back at the post game. And then, of course, like Tuesday, we'll probably see some more information about that. But other than that, there was nothing significant. Obviously, that sucks for Bryant. Obviously, that's never good to lose one of those guys. But we have a lot of guys behind them that potentially could step up, especially like we said, like Trayshawn Holden, who's just kind of there since Tez Johnson kind of took Holden's spot.
Yeah. What do you have tonight? 11 for 12, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, he had like when they said he had 11 catches, I was like, oh damn, he had 11 catches already.
Well, that means we had 2 receivers over 100. Yeah, Tez had 11 catches for 137, 12.5 average. Troy had 9 for 128, 14.2 average. A touchdown with a long of 41. Johnson's was a long of 32. Holden had 2 for 27. Ferguson 3 for 32. And Bucky had a few out of the backfield.
Yeah. And Nix has continued to spread it around quite a bit. The official horrible tonight. Yeah, there were some. We went over those a little earlier. There were some kind of calls. Nothing. I don't want to say anything overly egregious, but except for the Manning personal foul one, that one was stupid to me. That one didn't have to be called. And the pass interference on Manning, I think, again, that was kind of one of those like 50-50 calls. But
yeah, and this was one of the more off balanced per se games for us. We threw 40 passes. We only ran 26.
yeah, the running attack tonight was not working, but that's one of the Beavers' strengths. The Beavers are good at running. It was the secondary that everyone said that's the problem with the Beavers. Can the secondary hold up? And Oregon came out with a game plan of taking advantage of it, but it was enough to keep everything off balance.
Yep.
Horrible pack officials. What else is new? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, next year we'll say the same thing about Big Ten refs
Well,
because
like
they'll
pointing
hire
out
on the
earlier,
Pac-12 refs.
somebody was pointing out earlier on Twitter that we're like, thank God no more Pac-12 refs, and somebody goes, not necessarily. They got to
Yeah, they're
have
gonna
some
have.
West Coast refs
Yeah, they're gonna bring some of
somewhere.
them on. Now they'll get the Big Ten training, but I mean, still, come on, still gonna be a lot of the same people.
And I've heard a lot of Big Ten complaints too about their referees.
Yeah, it's like I think every conference outside of, I think every conference does it. People just complain more openly about the Pac-12 refs than
Yeah.
anywhere.
Well, that's because we've had some of the dumbest refereeing calls ever.
Yeah, I think that's more what it is. We're just more openly vocal about how bad it is sometimes. Yeah, and another bad call, as we mentioned earlier, was the Bucky getting called down on that first drive when he wasn't. But it's one of those things. It didn't affect the game in the overall. So, and again, any good team, I always say, any good team should never have to allow a referee to make a call. Like
No.
if one call by a ref decides the game, you probably weren't. You didn't deserve to win it anyways. If you're supposed to be that good in those situations.
Oh, Dave says only one official from the Pac gets picked up. Really?
They're gonna be stretched damn thin then. I don't
Well,
know how that's gonna work.
how's that gonna? Yeah, because you picked up
4
four
teams.
schools, so you picked up an additional 30 games or more, 40 games.
Well, just think 4 schools. What is there? 8 refs a game? 7, 8 referees per game.
Something like that.
So 4 extra games. Just say 4 extra. Well, let's just say they add the bye. Just say there's 3 extra. There's points. There's going to be 2 to 3 extra games per weekend for the Big Ten next year. That's 18 to 24 refs. They're going to have to add to cover those games. So unless they're just releasing all the Pac-12 refs, which I don't know if they would. I could see them being very selective of like who gets picked up, like the best of the best, so say out of the pack. But
They're designed to work against that.
the pack is designed to work against itself. It has for a while.
Yep, since George Scott or whatever his name is took over.
Larry Scott.
Larry Scott, yeah.
Well, Larry Scott had a genius idea for the pack. It just never came to fruition, and then he just kind of sat on his ass for like 7 more years.
Yeah, exactly. And had the opportunities to make a better program and chose not to.
We can have an off-season discussion about that. There was an opportunity, and he had the right idea. There was another holdup outside of his control that he couldn't get over. So it wasn't technically all his fault, but then he sat on his ass doing nothing for 7-8 years.
Yeah.
So the do you have any final? What?
I was gonna say what could have had Oklahoma and Texas, was it?
Oklahoma, Texas, but the Longhorn Network fucked us in the sense of that. Because Texas refused to cooperate with the pack in their dealings.
Oh, so they wanted their own.
It was also stubbornness on Larry Scott and the Pac-12 part because they wanted full ownership like the Pac-12 network, but Texas had their Longhorn network, and that was the
give that up.
That was the thing that really screwed that whole deal up. Otherwise, it would have been done, and the pack would have been set for probably forever.
Yeah, we would probably been fine
But then he sat on his ass for like 10, again, 7, 8 more years and did nothing. So, Spaz.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts on the hopefully not the last Civil War? Hopefully we'll hear something this weekend or by mid this next week that a deal is in place with all the shifting of games for the upcoming seasons.
And here's another problem that comes with that. Is if everything we're hearing comes out over the next week, let's say, okay, between now and the Pac-12 title game on Friday, now you've got a program with no conference, no coach, no schedule going forward at this point, and you've got a complete mess. So you don't know what you'd even be attempting to sign up for.
Well, and that may be what's taking part of the time is that Oregon State is expecting to see if Jonathan Smith is going to be there or not, because that might relegate them to, because they already won the battle about being the Pac-2. They can keep the name. Now they're fighting over the money. That's a whole different thing. They get the name. The money is what's going to allow them to expand, or do they have to merge? So are we going to play a quote-unquote Power 5 and or a G5? And then if we're playing a G5, do we have to pay them money? But if they're a Power 5, do we just schedule as a Power 5 knockout? That's maybe what the holdup is here. Whereas Washington State just said, screw it, we're just going to sign this deal. Whereas Oregon State may be waiting because Oregon State's in limbo waiting to see what happens with Jonathan Smith. That may be part of the holdup. I have no idea. I would like to know before the end of the year, before the first of the year, 2024. The Civil War is going to be happening next year, early September, the second game of the year or something. If Texas Tech decides to reschedule, or Boise State, we buy them out and rotate them or bump them a couple years or whatever.
Right.
I'd like to know by the end of the year. And that's what we're waiting. I have a feeling it's going to happen. It's just when and what the details are. But whatever the details are, don't matter to us as fans. Like, is the university paying them $1 million like an FCS program or something?
The rivalry continued, whether it's the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, end of the year, wherever.
Are we paying them for this? Whatever. As long as it's home. I mean, it only makes sense home and home. We're 45 miles apart. I mean, home and home, whatever.
Keep the rivalry alive.
Yeah.
Regardless of when it is in the season, just keep it alive. Conference, non-conference, just keep it going. It's something that anybody that's living in the last 100 years has been a part of their entire existence.
Yes, because outside of, correct me, this was the 127th meeting. And outside of
World War II.
Yeah, outside 4-year pause, 4 to 5 year pause. It's been every time. Well, and I think once in 1898, I think. Something like that. One time, like 1898, I think they skipped it. But those times, in those years, they were playing twice a year.
Right. For
a while, they were playing twice a year, kind of like basketball does, or the NFL does, if we consider competition. So that would be interesting. But I it's going to continue. I hope there isn't even a 1 year pause. Some people said that's probably the worst case, is there's a 1 year break. But I think they'll get it taken care of. I think Oregon State's waiting to see what happens with Jonathan Smith, and just hash out the details with what games Oregon can realign.
Yeah,
because Oregon State doesn't even have a fucking schedule right now.
Yeah,
for next year they don't even have a damn schedule.
No, because they don't know where they're playing or who. They don't. Yeah,
unless there's some secret Mountain West Conference schedule they've been assigned to without anyone knowing. There is no schedule for Oregon State next year.
I'm sure from everything I've heard is that's kind of what is on the burner is that it's some kind of like thing where Washington State and Oregon State are going to end up after the first of the year going into some backlotted Mountain West conference for next season.
I'm gonna guess. I mean, unless this is a big off-season topic, especially unless we hear news coming up in the next like couple weeks. Because how long is the litigation going to take for Oregon State, Washington State against the Pac? For the money purposes, they get the name. That's fine. No school fought to let them have the name that I'm aware of. Every school said, "Hey, we're all out. You can have the name." That's fine. Now it's about the money. So they're waiting on the money to see if they can merge the Mountain West basically with the Pac by buying the teams, essentially, or do they just have to mold into the Mountain West for like a year or two during litigation? Who knows? I mean, I have no idea what the timeline on it. This is a huge off-season topic. I think this is going to go on for months. This is not going to be like 2-3 weeks. You're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Thank you, Porter. We're hoping to maybe meet you guys in a month.
Yeah, I think this game would be a little bit different than last year's. Last year's was a embarrassment.
Could Penn Lanning get the triple revenge all in one 6-week period? Just keep watching, Duck Nation, because you might get to see something very, very special.
And yeah, Tony, that's why this will be a huge talking point, especially the next say about. I don't know where the Beavers are going to end up bowl wise. Maybe the Alamo, because they're fourth place right now. So maybe the
Alamo Sun Bowl, something like that. Yeah.
No, not the. I don't think they'll fall to the Sun Bowl. They'll probably go to Alamo, which is that's not bad. Definitely still. It's better than they did last year, too. It's still a step up. Last year, they kind of got screwed, even though they were a 9-win team.
20, 25, probably 20.
Yeah, I think they're going to drop because they've gotten a lot of credit because their losses were so close. This was a little more dire, of a beatdown. So I could see them like 22, 23. I don't think any further than that, though. 22, 23, probably. Maybe Holiday. Yeah. It depends on. I don't know if the Holiday is considered better than the Alamo or not anymore. Holiday or Alamo will be reserved for Arizona or Oregon State, probably.
Oh, Notre Dame's got an open spot next year, Tony says.
Oh, shit.
He's right, though. That'd be a moneymaker for them. Well,
we're going to see. There's going to be a lot of this on the off season when we come up with it, and we're going to wait probably. We'll know the bowl matchups in.
He got one pass for 9 yards. He just wasn't used a lot.
Yeah.
Used a lot of tight ends today.
Yeah, Ferguson caught a couple, but yeah, Herbert. He's never been a huge part of the passing game, anyways. But except for last week, I guess. But I guess we'll know bowl selection. What is it? Let's think it was Herbert really fast. Yeah. I literally think the screen he caught in this game was the same one they did at Arizona State. It just only went for 9 yards this time instead of a touchdown.
Instead of 40, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was literally the same one, the same style. I'd have to go back and watch it, but it felt like because the big O linemen were downfield.
Yeah, it was on the right side. Yep.
They just didn't get the same blocking like they did last week. But when is bowl selection? Is it the Sunday after the conference games, or is it that Tuesday?
Yeah, it'd be next Sunday.
So it'd be Sunday after the conference games.
After all the conference games are played, then you have your full outlook of
Selection Sunday or whatever.
where everyone lands.
So I think we'll start hearing a lot more news about different things, coaching stuff and all that. I mean, we might hear Jonathan Smith named MSU head coach tomorrow. Now that the regular season's over with, you could hear it. You could hear it tomorrow if that happens. Or Mike Elko to A&M, or Mike Elko to MSU, or whatever. I think we're going to start hearing it now that the regular season is actually over for some teams. Obviously, especially Sunday, following the regular season for all the teams outside of Army, Navy. Salute the troops.
Yeah, I'm looking just real quick to see if anything, because we all know how late night shit can pop, especially on X. But still don't.
Pac-12 after dark surprises.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet.
That I can't confirm. That I cannot confirm, Tony.
That I cannot confirm.
No, it's Tony's comment. Spaz is busy over there.
Yeah, just checking. No, there's nothing. Still some spaces going on, but nothing confirmed yet.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see this, Ben. This was taken at the game tonight.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, Dan the man. I see. I have that shirt. I just
with Dan next to him on the field.
I know. Well, I decided not to wear the Dan the Man shirt tonight, though, myself. I needed a change. Now, if we win the Pac-12, I'll bring out Dan the Man again. Is there any final thought though from you, Spaz, on this game? Final Oregon 31, or little brother, which our Beaver brothers left us way long ago. Oregon State 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good. Sad to see the end of at this point, the end of something that's been a part of my life since I was born. I grew up in just outside of Corvallis and have always been a Duck fan. I think part of that's because one of my best friends ended up going to University of Oregon when I was in junior high. He was one of my neighborhood buddies that was a few years older than me, and he took me to my first frat party the next year when I was in high school. And I just was always a Duck after that. I always have been. I grew up watching Chris Miller and J.J. Burden, who we had on our show earlier this year, and Anthony Newman, and guys that didn't win many games. To now, 40 years later, we've played in 2 national title games. Or no, 1. Played in two Final Fours, 2 national title games.
1 college football playoff, 2 natty games.
Oh,
2010 BCS national title game. 2014
right.
college football playoff national title game.
Okay, so we played for the national title twice in the last 40 years. I'm okay with that. I'm hoping for round 3 this year and a different outcome.
Yeah, obviously different outcome. I think just winning the Pac and getting to the back of the playoff would be a huge statement for Lanning in his second year. But getting to the title game would say that much more. Obviously, winning it is the goal. So I don't want to sell us short and go, that would be great. Well, if we lose, it's okay. No, of course it's gonna fucking suck. You know how many times I sat both those championship game nights and just screamed at the damn TV.
Oh yeah.
Just screamed at the fucking TV.
The first one, I was at a rally party at a bar with Chris Dudley. I have stuff pictures. I don't know if you know who he is. He was a NBA player for many years. Local Oregonian guy, played for the Blazers during his career, end of his career. Ran for governor back here in 2014, I believe it was. Yeah, because we had a national title watch party and a Chris Dudley fundraiser as our special guest at the same event. And yeah, back in 2014. So I have some fond memories of, Civil War, the Natties that we've played in. And I hope we keep it going. And this year, I'm really nervous at what I saw today too, because we're losing like 15 seniors this year. There's a lot.
Yeah.
We're losing a lot. So we're like, the end of the Mario train is finally falled off. And now we're really next year zooming into, this is the landing mold now, all the way around, starting next year.
And I will say that's the one good thing is, one, the recruiting's been great. Two, when he uses the portal, he's usually hit on the portal transfers to fill those spots that we need. So now the recruits are starting to be able to gel more in the system. So next year will be the first true kind of test on that, but he's going to hit the portal. He's going to bring in those guys still to fill that area that he feels are weaknesses. Like probably corner again. He's probably going to go after another corner because I think Jackson's done this year. I don't know if Jackson has any. Yeah. So I was like, he's probably going to hit and get a couple corners just in case. But like we're going to have to see how that goes. I mean, we're going to have to take a deep dive, especially in the offseason, about who we're losing, what we're not going to have. The next week, though, all we have to worry about is revenge on Washington. I think that's the only thing this team has to worry about, the only thing Lanning is focused on. And every week he seems to just say, this is what's in front of us. This is what we have to worry about now.
Yep.
No matter what Washington and Washington State do tomorrow, no matter what it is, just focus on Washington. We're meeting Washington next week, no matter what. So let the guys celebrate tonight, take it in, and move on immediately into practice and film study.
Yeah, rewatch that game and know where you made mistakes, and you already know where your mistakes were. You already know what you got to clean up from that game. Penalties, field goals, and poor decision making on fourth down.
Yep. And yeah, we can.
Even the announcers today were saying, I don't remember if it was the pregame show or if it was during the game. But one of them was, I think it was the pregame show. The Fox guys were saying, one of them was saying, look, Oregon beat Washington in my eyes. Sorry. He said they outgained them by over 100 yards. They did this, they did that. They just had a couple of play calls that went a different way. And that game on a neutral field, I don't like Washington's chances.
Yeah. And that's something we're going to go over heavy because we're all in agreement. A lot of people are. And so we're not disputing that. I don't dispute that at all. And we're going to be talking about that a lot. What date, Spaz? Is it this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central, 7 Pacific? Here on this channel?
On this channel.
Right here on the Oregon Duck Voice of College Football channel? No fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah, because the game's Friday.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah, who'd have thought, man? Where did we? You're gonna have to go back now to the beginning and look, our opening show, and find out where we all picked us. I believe I was the only insane one that said Bo could win the Heisman and we could end up in the CFP. You guys were like, yeah, no, not in the pack.
I'll let you go back and edit those clips out because I'm not going to go back and watch the whole damn show. I'm too busy for that shit.
All right, I'll go try to find them.
You go back and you tell me what episode it was and just give me the time. Like you say it was episode 21 at 3 minutes 30 seconds. I'll go back and I'll watch and I'll cut it and we'll do a little promo following the season. And we'll give ourselves little annual awards for most outrageous takes, most correct takes, etc., etc.
Okay, yeah.
We'll do that. I mean, your award will be nothing but good job, buddy.
Right?
Good job, man. Your award will be nothing.
Thanks, Tony.
Definitely. Thank you, Tony. And yes, please, everyone. Once again, it was an amazing final, hopefully not, but right now as it stands, final edition of the Civil War with Oregon dominating Little Brother 31-7. And it didn't even seem that close. It really didn't.
It really wasn't.
It really didn't.
That touchdown to end the first half, I think, just kind of went into the Beavers.
Yeah, that was kind of the dagger. That kind of killed that, and the fourth down stops in the second half. That just really deflated them. So once again, everyone, please thank you once again for joining us here at the post game of the Civil War, where Oregon has got itself slotted to face off again against the Huskies.
The rematch.
The final Pac-12 championship title. Ooh. Yes. No better way to go out with a final Civil War win and potentially win the last Pac-12 title. But please, everyone, Tuesday night, right here, 9 p.m. Central, 7 Pacific, right here on the Oregon channel of the Voice of College Football. Please join us as we will discuss the Pac-12 championship game and the rematch against what did I just say? Worcester? Like, why did I just say like Worcestershire sauce? What is this? Is that what you're trying to say? You can tell you, hey, look at the
comments.
You can tell me, look at the your awkwardness. I wasn't done yet. I was just like, I wasn't done yet. But thank you, David. We appreciate that. We appreciate that a lot. And I know Tony's in here all the time. He creeps every college football show. I will watch like 5 different streams and there's Tony in there. I'm like, get out of here, man. Yeah.
He was over on Mark's before we started.
Oh, he's over on Cover 3. He's over on Unnecessary Roughness. This man is everywhere. Berating people for no reason. But yes, please, Tuesday night, right here, we will talk the rematch against the Washington Huskies for the final Pac-12 championship. And please, Spaz, before you lose your shit, please tell everyone where they can find you.
Y'all can find me right down there on the bottom.
He's going to get this one day. He'll get this one day.
Rocky Classic on Twitter. You could also find me on TikTok and Facebook, and here on Tuesdays at 7 Pacific, and Saturday post games. And the last 2 weeks has been Friday. And then if we win again, it'll be, who knows, if we win the Pac-12 title game, it'll be a
January 1st.
January 1st. I was trying to think what day it is.
Is it going to be the 31st or the 1st or 2nd this year? I think. Is it still the 1st? Okay.
I think so.
I think so. I couldn't
First,
remember if they moved one of them or not. Usually they're back to back on the first, but we'll see then. We'll see then.
the 1st and the 8th.
Is it the 8th? I thought it was the 10th.
8th. Nope, they just announced
Oh.
it today. It's the 8th.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll get on those final dates at that point.
Got to get there.
Can't think that far ahead right now.
Got to get there first.
Yep. And I'm just Ben of Exploring with Ben and Sam right here on YouTube. Exploring with Ben and Sam. Just search it. We pop up immediately. If you don't know where to look, it's it'll come up with this avatar right there and then on our pretty channel. And you can follow us there here on YouTube. And then through there, you'll find us our Twitter, Instagram, and our little TikTok and fancy social media accounts that we really don't do much on. But YouTube especially. That's where we do all of our magic. And yeah, once again, hopefully we will see all of you right here come Tuesday night so that we can discuss the revenge match against the Huskies. So please, everyone on your way out, do hit that like and subscribe button. Share this out if you want to. And as usual, thank you very much, everyone, and go Ducks.